I broke my vulva 2 days after I bought it, so you're gonna have to bear with me here. Have you heard of the pelvic floor? Maybe you've heard about Kegels and doing some Kegels to strengthen your pelvic floor, but you have no idea what the pelvic floor actually is. Today's your lucky day. We're gonna have an anatomy lesson about what it is. My name's Caitlin. I'm a small town physio in Manitoba, and I love talking about anatomy, making sense of the wild, the weird, the icky of the human body, and also talking about sensitive topics that aren't nearly talked about as much as they should be. Let's begin. This is our pelvic floor. How cool. I'm gonna make sense of what exactly you're staring at here, so let's begin. For context, this is the front of the body.
Wow.
This is the spine, our low back right here. And in the front, these pokey bones are our pokey bones in our front hip area. So if you were to put your hand or your fingertip on your pokey bone and put your hand on your hip bone, that's what we're looking at here. And then ultimately what happens is that this is where your leg meets your hip, and then this is your butt bone, or the hard things that we sit on. So when we talk about the pelvic floor, I like to describe it in a spread eagle position, which is what we're looking at right here. So the pelvic floor lives in a diamond shape. So what we're looking at here from the top is the pubic, and I broke my vulva 2 days after I bought it, so you're gonna have to bear with me here. Let's put her back in. So from the top, this is our pubic bone, which is the hard bone right by your crotch. And from below, everything comes to your tailbone. And then on both sides of the diamond are our butt bones. So you can see the pelvic floor is a bowl that lives in that diamond. And in the pelvic floor, we can't see any of this because our stomach and our lungs and all these organs are on top here. But what is housed, or what lives in the pelvic floor, is bladder. I've also lost the top of my bladder. Oh my. And bladder lives directly behind the pubic bone, that again, that hard bone in front of your crotch. Lots of folks think that it's right underneath your belly button. Immediately behind that, I'm gonna get rid of bladder. Immediately behind that is uterus, or the womb, fallopian tubes, ovaries on either side. And then we have, at the bottom, we have cervix, and then this tubey thing is the vagina. The inside portion is called the vagina, and the outside part, which is my broken thing, is called the vulva. Behind uterus is rectum, which goes from your intestines, turns into your rectum, and goes into your anus. Ta-da! So that's pretty cool. And they're vital, life necessary structures, and we don't talk about them, which is so crazy. Now, if we're looking externally, this is the stuff that we can see with our eyes. Obviously, what else would we be looking at them with? So for context, what we're looking at here, this is the opening of the vagina. This is the urethra, which is what we pee out of. And at the top deck here, we have our clitoris, and everything's connected with muscle. Now, we have this blue thing here, would be the labia majora, which is the hair covered part. And we have this part, which is the hairless part, the labia minora. Now, everything on this part here, that's called your perineum. And right here, this is the structure that gets torn, people call it their taint. This is a structure that gets torn when you have a baby, and everything meets into the rectum and the opening of the anus. Now, if we were to take this away, and we look inside, again, we cannot see this with the naked eye. This is the inside of your pelvic floor. So they are, let's see if we can see this okay. They are slings of muscles, and everything is symmetrical on the right and the left side. So we have muscles going from pubic bone to tailbone. We have muscles going from tailbone to hip. And then we have muscles right in the back here that connect to your tailbone. This is the rectum, and this is the opening of the vagina. So some of the muscles, if we're talking about internal assessments, we would be inserting a gloved finger and doing assessments of tightness, tone, strength of the muscles vaginally and also rectally, because we cannot, as you can see here, we cannot access these vaginally. It's anatomically impossible. So the pelvic floor houses all these life-giving structures. My rectum has left the building, provides stability and support of the back and the core. It's obviously very crucial for sexual function. So that's a brief anatomy lesson of the pelvic floor, and I hope that this just paints a picture of where these structures live. Next time, let's talk about what the pelvic floor does and what pelvic floor physio can look like. Thanks for joining my anatomy lesson. We'll see you next time.